Hey, what's happening, guys? What's going on YouTube? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the PayPal controversy that spun up over the weekend. PayPal had quietly added something to their terms of service that they claim gave them permission to fine users or basically steal $2,500 out of your bank account if they felt that you were, quote-unquote, promoting misinformation. This came out over the weekend. It was added to PayPal's terms of service. After the backlash, PayPal tried to walk this back and say, oh, no, that we didn't mean to do this. This was completely done by mistake, and we've removed it from the policy. Well, to date, it still has not been removed from the policy. But also, does anybody actually think that this was done by mistake, right? Like, nothing is going to go into PayPal's terms of service without the CEO and executives knowing about it. And their legal team, their legal department, is definitely going to have a say in what goes into the terms of service. So the idea that somehow this accidentally wound up, like, how do you accidentally come up with a policy like this? And how do you accidentally add it to your website and accidentally add it into your terms of service? This is clearly something PayPal had intended on doing. And after seeing the backlash from it, quickly walked it back and tried to act like it never happened. It kind of reminds me of, we did a story recently about how GM was trying to call people back into the office. And they sent an email out to all their corporate employees and said, before the end of the year, everybody will be in the office 3 days a week. Well, understandably, that did not go over well. And GM quickly walked that back and was like, nope, it was a mistake. We never said it. Didn't mean to say it. So you'll kind of notice how governments and corporations and private companies will, kind of tease out things that they want to do, gauge the reaction, and then kind of reassess from there. Here's why this is so fucking crazy. The audacity of some private company to think that they have the right to police what you think and say, but beyond that they have the audacity to think that they can pull $2,500 out of your bank account because they don't like something that you said. Is crazy. Anybody who's ever had a PayPal account, anybody who's ever sold on eBay, anybody who's ever accepted PayPal in their Shopify store, it's almost a certainty that you've had a bad experience if you've done a significant amount of business with PayPal. I think 3 different businesses of mine, I've had PayPal either freeze my funds or shut down my account without telling me anything. It would take weeks or even months to get a hold of anybody. At one point, PayPal had somewhere between $150,000 and $170,000 of my money in rolling reserves. In another instance, PayPal just snagged 10 grand out of my PayPal account and said that they were going to hold it for, kind of like rolling reserve purposes. Another business I had selling sports cards, they froze my account, took $37,000 from me. And when I would try to call them up, the regular reps on the phone would say, oh, you can only, this can only be dealt with by risk and compliance. And I would say, well, let me talk to risk and compliance. Well, no, you need to open up a ticket, and within 90 days, they'll get back to you. Well, I think like on the 97th day, I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like, I was patient enough to wait 3 months. You guys are still playing games with me. And that's kind of normal. And what PayPal and most of these payment processors and social media companies do, they leave their terms of service really vague to give themselves a lot of leeway to essentially do whatever they want. I think kind of as a lesson to all of us, we need to pay a lot more attention to what we're signing off on in various terms of service, whether it's on social media, merchant processors, or a company like PayPal. And also when a company who has access to your bank account starts thinking that they can steal money from you or act in authoritarian ways, it might be time to shut down that account and stop using these companies. For now, this isn't going to be a policy anymore, but the fact that PayPal even thought that they could get away with this is pretty nuts. And just so you guys know, if you do want to discontinue using PayPal, PayPal also owns Venmo. So, you may or may not want to give them access to your bank account, your credit cards, your debit cards. Let's see, a couple other things I wanted to talk about in regards to this story. One thing that's not really clear, like, what does this mean, or what would this policy have looked like in practice? Like, let's say I have a Shopify store selling T-shirts, and maybe I sell T-shirts that say the coof is fake, or that thing that we dealt with the past 2 years, that's fake. Is it if I'm using my PayPal account while at the same time, quote unquote, spreading information? Another example might be maybe I'm a YouTuber and, I say something about Ukraine or the coup that PayPal doesn't like. And I have a donate button, or I have a link to donate to my my YouTube channel on the account. Right there, it's still wrong, but at least there's kind of a direct tie to your quote-unquote misinformation and PayPal. But does this also mean that just your casual PayPal user who uses PayPal either for their business or even not even for a business, just to make payments, does this mean your casual PayPal user who says something on social media on their personal account having nothing to do with PayPal or business, if PayPal catches wind of it, they can just snag $2,500 out of their account? The whole thing's crazy. I doubt it's legal. There are regularly updates to terms of service. However, when a company is going to say, we have the ability to dig into your bank account and steal $2,500 from you, if you've had your PayPal account for 10 years and you kind of agreed according to their terms at that time, I would think that a change this big and this dramatic would be something that they would need you to sign off on again. Without further ado, let's hop into this article. This one comes to us from the New York Post. I think initially Yahoo News did a big story about this. And what this kind of serves to do is it kind of serves to make people self-censor, right? Like when left and right you're seeing everyone's getting canceled, every company is closing people's accounts for saying something that's outside of the mainstream or having a unique thought or having a unique opinion. Kind of the message that gets beaten into people's heads over time is don't question anything, go along with the status quo, don't rock the boat, because if you do, you might have $2,500 stolen from you, you may have your Instagram account shut down, you may have your Twitter account shut down, or whatever else it may be. Another troubling thing about this is we're starting to see government and private companies get way too close, way too cozy. A while back, I remember the White House, the Joe Biden White House met with various media and internet companies in a private meeting to discuss how that they could show Joe Biden in a better light, right? Like it's the media's job to challenge authority and to challenge the government, not to partner with government and see how they can kind of push his agenda or show him in the best light. There's certain things that the government can't do to you because of your constitutional rights. However, if the government has a private company do something on their behalf, all of a sudden now the government's not violating your rights, and people can say, well, it's a private company, they can do what they want. If you look at Joe Biden's, COOF mandate, when they wanted to put the thing in your arm, the government realized that they couldn't do anything, so they tried to kind of shift that burden onto employers of 100 or more people and kind of force them to mandate you to get the thing. And so this kind of, relationship where corporations and government are in bed with each other is kind of scary. Let's hop into this article again. This one comes to us from the New York Post. PayPal pulls plan to fine customers $2,500 for promoting quote-unquote misinformation. Another problem about this, I keep going off on tangents here. Another problem about this, what is misinformation? A lot of things that we're told are misinformation later come out to be true. And also the term misinformation seems to be a blanket term for you're saying something that I don't like, or you're saying something that I don't agree with, so we'll just call it misinformation. One big piece of misinformation was that Hunter Biden laptop story. If you guys watched Joe Rogan, you probably saw when Mark Zuckerberg was on there, and he told Rogan that the FBI came to him and told him not to let that news story get out or not to spread that story because it was misinformation. Fast forward a couple months or a year, whatever it's been, and, I'm sure you guys have seen the videos of Hunter Biden snorting coke off someone's butthole, or dirty Sanchezing some, young Eastern European woman. Turns out that laptop story was true, but, the government reached out to a private company, got the story squashed, and then we later wind up coming to find out that it is true. So, misinformation is kind of a funny thing. There's very few things in this world that are clearly black and white, and because of that, you can call next to anything misinformation. But getting into the story here, PayPal issued and then retracted a policy to fine users $2,500 for misinformation after a flurry of criticism erupted on social media, including from Elon Musk and another one of the company's former leaders. The penalties posted on PayPal's website would have been issued to users who, quote-unquote, promote misinformation or present a risk to user safety or well-being, according to the Daily Wire, which first reported the change on Friday. The new policy was set to go into effect on November 3rd, according to the report, but a company rep said the change was published, quote-unquote, in air. I'll try to link to the Yahoo News story as well if you guys want to take a read of that one. It's got a few more tweets and a little bit more information. An AUP notice recently went out in air that included incorrect information, the statement said. PayPal is not fining people for misinformation, and this language was never intended to be inserted into our policy. At least two of the company's former leaders, including founders Elon Musk, had taken the proposal from the famously woke corporation and pushed back on Twitter. It's hard for me to openly criticize a company I used to love and gave so much to, tweeted former company president David Marcus. PayPal's new AUP goes against everything I believe in. A private company now gets to take your money if you say something they disagree with. This is insanity. And Elon Musk also tweeted, agreed. Let's see, they show the tweet. PayPal has banned users who espouse views that it says promotes hate, violence, or discriminatory intolerance. Now, it's troubling enough that PayPal is kicking users off of their platform and taking away their ability to accept payments and run their business. But it's even crazier that they think that they can steal money out of your bank account. Let's wrap the article up here real quick. Earlier this month, the company banned a group called Gays Against Groomers, which LGBT advocates have labeled a hate group. We got a bunch of comments here. We'll read a few of them. From whence do they derive that authority? They are just some private company. If they try to take $2,500 from my account, I would call the cops on them because it's theft. And the cops would say it's a civil case because you checked that little box in the terms of agreement at the bottom. It would cost you more than $2,500 to get it back. Fortunately, they were busted before it went into effect. They knew exactly what they were doing. Close your PayPal account if you have one. It's easy to do. Too late, already closed my account. No company is going to unilaterally fine me $2,500 for anything. PayPal is lying to you. This dictate of $2,500 came from top management, got approval from department heads, and then went through the legal department where many meetings took place with stakeholders of this rule. And at PayPal, this was vetted by everyone who would have had any involvement with it, from senior management down to how the CSRs would deal with it. Everyone was involved. Something like this was not a mistake. It was approved after many meetings and legal approval. This is your future with anyone who has your financial info. Banks will be doing this next. And, that's a good point. I think we oftentimes, I want to buy, I want to buy some fake internet gold off of this game. I want to download a song. I want to buy something off eBay. I want to buy something off Amazon. I want to buy something off Shopify. And we hand out our banking details and permission to withdraw funds from our account to so many people in this day and age without really thinking about who we're giving access to our accounts. Another kind of interesting aspect of this story is, I actually own some PayPal stock. It's not a huge holding of mine, but I think I bought some when it was down around $95. PayPal over the last year is down 64%. Over the last 6 months, it's down 17%. So PayPal stock is struggling. It's now down to $90. And as a shareholder, doing something like this that is obviously not only wrong, but is going to piss off and cause you to lose users is really pretty fucking dumb as well. And in one kind of last thought before we cut off of this video, PayPal has really lost their position as, kind of the OG or the main payment processor. At one point, PayPal was basically what people thought about when they thought about merchant processing. Just a few years ago, nobody would have ever thought, I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people thought to go actually get a merchant processing account. Most people just set up a PayPal account if they're wanting to take payments for some type of freelance service they're doing, some type of service they're offering, some type of website they're starting. Not a lot of people would go and get a merchant account. People would just go to PayPal. But PayPal has really lost their stronghold. They're no longer the chosen or preferred payment processor on eBay. That's now kind of an in-house partnership with Adyen. Stripe is kind of eating PayPal's lunch as well. Stripe, think about how many people with BigCommerce and Shopify stores, have it set up with Stripe as opposed to PayPal. PayPal has definitely lost their dominance in the space. Even if you look at the popularity of buy now, pay later, PayPal has offered financing for years, but PayPal's has never really taken off. in the way that Affirm or Afterpay or Klarna or Sezzle or many of these other buy now pay later services have taken off. But saw that article over the weekend, thought it was pretty crazy, wanted to let you guys know about it. Not telling you what to do. You want to keep your PayPal account, keep it. You want to close it down, close it down. But if you disagree with this, if you find this to be scary, you may want to consider closing down your PayPal and Venmo accounts. As always, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions, and anything else you have to say about this story, so go ahead and drop them down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below and ring the bell, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.